This video will serve as a quick refresher on solving equations, in particular paying attention to how to show work and what to do when the distributive property is involved. Alright, when I look at this problem, I'm going to start by distributing this negative on the outside of our parentheses to everything that's inside of there. So I'm going to say that's the opposite of 7, or negative 7. And then I look at this as a minus 4x. So I'm looking at it as a negative 4x, or the opposite of a negative 4x, which is a plus 4x. Okay? And that's still set equal to 9. And now I already have my x's over on this side, so let's get rid of everything else. In this case, we have a minus 7, so the opposite is a plus 7. If I do it to the left, I need to do it to the right, and I have 4x equals 16. Then my final step is always to divide by how many x's I have to figure out the value of 1x. So I have 4 x's, so I'll divide by 4. 4x divided by 4 is just x, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. Alright, here is another example. I'm checking to see if there's any like terms that can be combined, and there's not, but I do see that I have the distributive property on the right hand side of the equation. So this negative 2 will be distributed to everything inside. So I start with negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2, and then I have negative 2 times negative 7x. Negative 2 times negative 7 is a positive 14x. Okay, and then the left side just stays the same. So I bring that down. All right, now I've got x's on both sides of my equation. I have 5x on the left and 14x on the right. Now technically you can go on either, you can take the x's off of either side, but the tip that we've talked about in class is look for the side that has the fewer x's, the smallest value of the x's, and then that's the side we're going to get rid of. So on the left I have 5x. So what we'll do is we'll take 5x off, so that cancels, but again if I do it to the left I must do it to the right. So on the left side of my equation I'm just left with 34, and on the right side I just bring down my negative 2, but now I have 14x minus 5x, and that is a positive 9x. So we've got our x's on the right side now, and they're positive. So let's get rid of this minus 2 by adding 2 to both sides. It cancels out on the right, so I rewrite what I have left. 36 equals 9x. And again, final step, always divide by how many x's you have to figure out the value of x. So x equals 36 divided by 9, which is 4. And this is letter I on your worksheet. Let's take a look at what to do over on the right-hand side. Okay, the first thing we're going to have to start with over here is distributing this 6 to everything that's in parentheses. So I have, it's a plus 6, so it's a positive. So I have 6 times negative x, and that's a negative 6x. Then I have 6 times 5, which is positive 30. Okay, so that was this whole part here. I still have a negative 5x, bring down my equal sign, and then on the left I have negative 58. Okay, now I'm at a point where I can combine like terms. I see a negative 5x and a negative 6x. That makes negative 11x. And then I have plus 30, and on the left I have negative 58. Alright, now I am going to subtract 30 from both sides so that I isolate my x's, and a negative 58 minus 30 is negative 88, and I still have negative 11x over on the right. And again, we are always going to end by dividing by how many x's we have. So I have negative 11x, so I will divide by negative 11. I need to do the same thing to the left-hand side. Okay. Negative 11x divided by negative 11 is just x, and negative 88 divided by negative 11 is 8. So x equals 8. All right, for our final example, we have 5x minus 6 times the quantity 2x plus 6, and all of that equals negative 92. So for this one, we need to start by distributing And here we have a negative 6, so we're subtracting 6 times all of these things. So what I would suggest doing here is turning the minus into adding the opposite. So we're now looking at multiplying everything in there by a negative 6. Okay, so I'm just going to start bringing down, I have 5x, that didn't change, right? And then I have negative 6 times 2x. Well, negative 6 times 2 is negative 12x. Okay, I could have written that as plus negative 12x. That would have been fine too. And then I have negative 6 times 6, which is a negative 36. And again, I could have written that as plus negative 36. All of that is still equal to negative 92. All right, now we can combine like terms. I see 5x. Some people like to box it up here. I've got 5x and a negative 12x. That makes for negative 7x. And then I just have this minus 36 here. And all of that is equal to a negative 92. So we have our variable isolated on the left-hand side. We need to get rid of the 36 that's with it, or the negative 36 that's with it. So to do that, I add 36. Although you know now if we add it to the left, we're adding it to the right. And negative 92 plus 36. Well, I know 92 minus 36 is 12 minus 6, 6, 8 minus 3. So we have a negative 56. And then over on the left, I bring down my negative 7x from over here. Final step, divide by how many x's we have. We have negative 7x, so we divide by negative 7, and we are left with x equals 8, because negative 56 divided by negative 7 is 8.